Ja, not really. Let's open. USB-kabel. De audiokabel. De switches. En de powerledjes. Ja. Goed, nou. Die hebben we even niet nodig, dus die duwen we weer netjes een beetje weg voor straks. Zoals je hier ziet, voor de voorste fan, meteen even het draadje met metaal eruit halen. Want ja, metaal, hier zit metaal in, dat willen we niet. Hier. Kabeltje voor de voorste fan. Dit soort stukjes meteen even eruit gehaald. Hier alle het zakje met onderdelen. Handleiding. Allemaal niet nodig. Hebben we niet nodig, want we hebben geen externe harde schijven. We hebben namelijk een NVMe drive, die gaan we gebruiken. moederbord. Alle schroefjes hier in de weg liggen. Goed, nou. Tot nu toe een beetje stil geweest om het begin te maken. Nou, nu ga ik eerst de DVD-brander erin jassen. Die is het makkelijkste. Wel het plastic. Oh. Even schaamhoesje. Zo. Locks into place. Schroefje voor de CD-speler mee vast te zetten. Heel fijn, heel klein. Maar toch even nodig. The optical drive is fitted in the case. Die gaat nergens meer in. Goed zo. cover. Oké. Zo. Tada! Volgende, de voeding. Gaan we eens even uitpakken. Zoals je merkt, ik vertaal niet heel veel tussendoor. Ik probeer me vooral te concentreren op wat ik aan het doen ben. Oei. Ja, ik heb weinig camera-ervaring, dus ik ben vooral bezig met gewoon dingen te doen. Kan even wat langer duren. Soms zul je afvragen, wat is hij allemaal aan het doen? Het is pas de tweede keer dat ik zelf een PC bouw, dus ik zoek nog wat onderdelen. Ja, dus blijf gewoon lekker kijken. Komt vanzelf goed. Nou. Altijd leuk. Always good to win something. Some user manual, an installation guide. Blah blah. Nothing too fancy or too special. Off. Recommended. No graphics card. Let's see what more is in the bag. In the bag. Yes, all the manuals we'll keep. Never hurts to keep them. I will try to talk a little bit more English from now on, so everyone can watch this. It's the bag with the screws and the tie wraps and the Velcro wraps, and yeah, pretty much it for this bag. Sturdy foam. Yes. Oh. Never seen one of these before. some type of connector for motherboard power, I think. Don't think I'm gonna need it, but just showing to you. A power cable. A bag with connectors. And more connectors. Just a plain old plastic bag. We get to them when we're going to use them. Contains the cables for the power supply to connect to the motherboard, the CPU, graphics card or optical drive. So 2 nice full bags. I will set them aside. And of course our power supply. Nice, modular, not too big, more than enough power for the rig we are building. Yeah, good quality, good reviews, not too expensive. And we're going to install this now. I'm going to install it with the fan down, so that it will suck up air from the bottom, fresh air, so, and not the warm air from the computer, so it stays nice and cool. Okay, that's all that's in the box. Plastic baggie. Nope. Yes. A tip from Uncle Carrie, who has taught me how to build computers. There's a plastic sticker or protection thingy on the logo, because God forbid the logo gets damaged, because you will see it. Not. So remove it, because it when the thing gets hot, it will melt, and yeah. Here, a little small plastic film to keep your logo nice and clean. Well, if you forget, it's not the end of the world, but yeah. Okay, now. Hop. It goes in like this. Hop. So, power supply in the case. This case has some rubber feet, some rubber standout you can place the power supply on, so it helps reduce the noise from vibrations. I'm going to use the screws that came with the power supply, but you can also use the same black screws that came with the case. Either one is fine. I'm going to use the screws from the power supply because I can. It doesn't really matter, but you know for sure that this screw actually will fit for sure with this power supply, or else why would they give them to you? So, but you can't go wrong. Use the screws that came with the case, or the screws with the power supply. It's up to you. I don't care. They're both black, so it's not a very big difference. So, hop. The switch is off. Hybrid mode, I will look into that, what it does. Don't think I need it, but yeah. Well, here it goes. Well, almost perfect. Yes. Align the holes. Push forward. Yes. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. All a bit off. 2 are nice in the corner. 1 offset. 1 through a hole. put all 4 screws in them. Don't skip any steps here. Don't think that 2 screws is enough. Just go safe and install all the 4. Velcro ties. No, I will need those screws. My Phillips 2 screwdriver. Just a simple screwdriver, nothing too special. Just for curiosity. Just two. Another thing, yeah, I told you before to install the power supply with the fan downwards. Another reason, in this case particular, is that there's a shroud here that covers the power supply, and if you would mount it with the fan up, yeah, it can't breathe. You would suffocate the power supply, causing it to overheat, etc., etc. So while taking this out, if you watch the bottom of this case, you'll see there's a filter, and there are openings to draw air in. So mounting this power supply this way, with this side down, actually makes the most sense. Other way around, there are some holes, but generally speaking, the shroud just covers the fan, which in theory could make the power supply much more warm than necessary. So I would recommend installing it this way. Make sense? I hope so. For me it does. Ooh, another bit of fancy plastic going on here. Just trying to get rid of it, because we all love a shiny logo. Yes, nice. Just, well, just a little fun. I'm sorry. Still have to figure out what this hybrid mode on this power supply is good for, but yeah, for now I just let it off, just like the switch, it's off, so no surprises when you plug in the cable for the power. Yes, reinstall it, align the holes. Yes. Maybe you think I'm a little bit sluggish and telling you things you probably know. This is my first video for while building my PC. I just want to have a little fun. Don't be too harsh. If you don't enjoy the video, yeah, too bad. I'm just enjoying myself, showing what I'm doing, having a bit of fun. Maybe help someone. I also do this for a friend I made that has helped me put together the parts for this computer. It's not a computer for myself, but for my dad. While I'm at it, I want to thank Catherine and Anna Hauserman for helping me pick the parts for this PC, and I'm actually making this video for her to show her the building process. And she has been a great help, giving lots of great advice. And so I do this a bit for her. I also do this for Gary Holzman as a sort of repayment for all the info he has given me and teaching me that building a computer isn't that frightening, it's just fun if you just take your time. So I'm taking my time and enjoying the build and taking you along the ride. So you know, that's why this video exists, not to be the educational type, just having some fun and taking you along the ride for this build. If you don't like it, just close your browser. Don't go hating in the comments. Don't be critical. Enjoy the video or just leave me be. Thank you. Taking the screws one by one. Not too tight, just a couple of turns so it fits. Yes. Do it crosswise, one in the corner, one to your right, opposite corners. Push the power supply a bit forward so you don't have to keep it flush with the back. Not too tight, because maybe you have to wiggle around a bit to get to all the screws in, but this is very easily. It's really a nice case. I didn't pick it myself. Catherine picked it out for me. She says this much clean. It's not as big as an 200R from Corsair. It's a nice but decent case, not too expensive. Nice black aluminium finish. I just love black cases. Yeah, who wants a white case anymore? That's something out of the 90s or so. But it's not the most cheapest case, but it's a decent quality case, and that will help you enjoy the build more than just a cheap case with all the sharp edges. This case has literally no sharp edges. I can run my finger without cutting myself. I have worked on a computer with cheaper cases with sharp edges, cutting myself. But that's, yeah. Just a little bit, not too heavy. It doesn't have to be watertight. It just has to be really sit in. So don't be too. And that's the power supply. Part 2 installed. Nice. Okay. So that's prepping the case for now. We've installed the power supply. We've installed the DVD burner. Or maybe you didn't see this too well, but this actually has some magnetic filter on the top. Well, getting it off was harder than getting it on. You don't see this as well, sorry, we'll correct the view. You will see. It's just a magnetic filter. Slap it on. If you don't planning on installing water cooling or fans at the top, put this filter on. Be safe. Just helps to keep dust outside. So, and it gives the case a nice finished look. I think it looks awesome. So the case is prepped for now. I have removed all the wire ties, the little thingies with the metal in them, because you don't want any metal in that case. Okay, so case is prepped. And, we don't need the power supply phone. Okay, now Next part is put your case aside and we're going to prep the motherboard. Well, I've done this only one or two times, sorry. My English is still improving. So I'm now going to prep my motherboard. We're going to install the processor, the i5-10600. No overclocking, just locked CPU, because my father isn't an enthusiast. He doesn't need the overclocking capabilities. It comes with a stock cooler, but I will have that as a spare cooler because we're going to fit it with this nice Shuriken 2. Why not the stock cooler, but this one? Performance wise and sound. This thing is, yeah, I've watched some reviews, did a bit of reading, and this thing actually performs great. It's not too expensive also. All the parts we picked are not too expensive. It's they're decent quality parts, picked with love and care by Catherine, helping me out. So again, a shout out to her. I keep mentioning her a few times because she's such a great help. Explained all the reasons why I should pick this part. And so back to the Shuriken from Scythe. Not too big, small, compact CPU fan cooler. Performs much better and much more silent than the stock cooler. It's optional. I just like the cooler. They should be an easy install, like the reviews on the internet say, and it is just a great silent cooler for the price. The stock cooler I will keep as a spare because anything that moves can break. But I think this will outlast the computer long before it breaks. But it's always good to have spare parts. So, yes. For my thermal paste, I don't use the small baggy thing that comes with it because, yeah, I'm a bit clumsy and those packages are really small. It's like this bag, and yeah, I will keep that like reserve. So I've bought me a nice tube of Arctic MX4 thermal compound. It's 8 grams. It's for like, I think 5 or 6 times the appliance that you actually need it. Just great bang for the buck. Decent thermal compound. So that's why I'm not going to discuss how to apply it. I think that's a personal preference. I will actually spread it around for a nice even layer. There are so many ways to apply thermal compound. I'm not even gonna bother entering that discussion. I think you have to choose for yourself what you think is best. Or like Uncle Carrie always says, test it out yourself if you want to discover what's the best way to apply. I just follow his instructions. Small bit on the CPU, spread it around, CPU cooler on top. That's the way I'm gonna do it. It's the first time I'm actually going to do this self. My previous first build, no, this actually my third build, but the previous 2 builds I always had a friend helping me out because I was a little bit anxious to do this. Now I'm actually doing this myself. I'm not scared to do it. For one reason, if I break the part, it's not the end of the world. It's sure it is, but if you do this in all calm and quietly, you actually don't. It's really hard to screw this up. Just take your time, like I'm going to do with this appliance. Sorry for the long explanation, but yeah, I'm getting into this, so I'm trying my best here. Yeah, for storage, this was a no-brainer. I'm really envious of my dad. This is such a great little drive, 1 terabyte of storage, NVMe drive, really fast, really good performance, not too expensive. Again, I think it's really great value. I don't have one of these. My dad's getting one. I'm really envious, and yeah, he comes from a classic, traditional spin me around kind of drive with the platters and the mechanical haywire that those still exist, but he will be blasted off his feet using this drive. We actually I showed him the part, the little stick that's inside, and he still doesn't believe that's its storage. He doesn't believe that's a hard drive. So first time installing this, but I think it should be a breeze. Okay. Then the RAM, G.Skill RAM, it's 3000 megahertz, more than enough. Actually faster than the motherboard will handle, I think, but that's no problem. It came at a discount, so I got lucky there, and I just bought it, and I checked it with Catherine, and she says perfect. She advised me this, so yeah, I'm just lucky I got a discount, like 10 or 15 euros cheaper. Yeah. Um, the great thing with an Intel system is that actually compatibility is much less of a problem than with AMD. I don't hate AMD. I have an AMD system and it performed very well for the last 8 years. So I'm no fanboy of one or either. I have a small preference over Intel from a historical perspective, but I think both CPU makers are great. It's just a small preference to Intel, but no hate for AMD. They also have great processors. So yeah. Okay, so that's the parts that are going to the motherboard. Then the motherboard and mini ITX, because yeah, it's a smaller case, so it has a much smaller footprint on my father's desktop. I'm just a great fan of Gigabyte boards. Thanks to Carrie, he explained, he has convinced me that this is just a great manufacturer of motherboards. It's a preference. I don't think if you take the time to do your research that you can pick a bad board. This is a great board in size, has all the things it needs. Is it all fancy schmancy high end? I don't need that. My dad doesn't need that. He's not a gamer. Although this says it is a gaming motherboard, so he can put a graphics card in it. Doesn't need it. Doesn't game. It hasn't got any Wi-Fi, but my father still has the cabled network. He's not going to travel with the computer, so we plug it into the cabled network. He has internet, so he doesn't need Wi-Fi. If he wants Wi-Fi, then that's possible. You can always extend it with a Wi-Fi card. This has two M.2 slots. One slot will be occupied with the NVMe drive. Obviously the fastest one, the top one. The second drive, or the second slot, you can use for a Gigabyte card, a Wi-Fi card. So, but yeah, I'm really curious. So, yes. Okay, put this aside. Up, up. So, I will now. Okay. this was it for video 1. I'm going to take a short break, taking a bit of a break, getting me something to eat and to drink. Hope to see you back again with my second video, where we will prep the motherboard, install all the parts and fit it in the case. So thanks for watching so far. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I just want to share my experience building this computer. And if you liked the video so far, I hope to see you for part 2.